against Nick Pierce from Minnesota.
So we've seen our first lineup change.
Already. Already talked about that, as you guys had said earlier.
And I inquired earlier. You know, I'm not sure if it's a son or just a relative of Pierce, but
of the great Billy Pierce.
You know, one thing you start to see, you know, right away is, you know, with that result they had in the first match, right? You know, we're already seeing a change. They're going to make adaptations, and that's important for any dual team trying to win.
And I'll tell you about this Earnst kid. He's a good-looking kid as well. He just wrestled Mason Lancaster over there in the semis duel in Oklahoma. He moves well. He controls the center very well. And he's got some good feet for a big guy. He's real heavy on that head, moving Pierce around a little bit. So he's already got a push out, scores 1-0, so I'm kind of interested to see what else here. I'm not saying he may attack a lot, but once he gets you on the edge, he knows exactly what to do.
For sure. I want to give a shout out to Andy Hamilton for giving us a lot of the data we're going to use today. He points out that Earnst is an Ohio State champion. He's up 3-0 here. For folks that don't know how team scoring works, if you win by a decision and your opponent does not score, it's 3 for you, none for them. If you win by a decision and your opponent does score, it's 3-1. A tech fall is either 4-0 or 4-1 depending on scoring, and a fall is 5-0. So a lot of these matches, even if you're losing 8-1, 8-2, or 8-1, 9 or 8-0, just scoring 1 point can really make a big difference in the team score. And again, Earnst doing a great job of controlling the center again.
Just beating him on the level change. You know, one thing if you watch, for those of you watching at home, you know, Earnst is keeping his shoulder dead square in Pierce's shoulder anytime he starts moving forward. It stops the lateral drop. It stops a lot of offensive, counter-offensive things that can happen when you push. And he really is just beating him positionally right now. All the points have come from moving him to the edge and then scoring.
Now
and
even
right here, he's still beating him with the shoulder, even though Pierce is really on the offense. Earnst is just keeping a great stance and great shoulder position.
He's controlling that center of the mat, basically, just like Eric said. And also, just to clarify, we were talking about Pierce. This is his son. We just found that out. So he knows how to wrestle as well.
Yeah, for those people that don't know, Billy, one of the great heavyweights in the long lineage, University of Minnesota heavyweights, and you can see him getting into the match. He's sitting in the corner, getting after it. You can see it. They definitely look like relatives. We got blood on the mat. So.
And I'll take this timeout we have here for blood. You know, you look over that Minnesota corner and you see a guy like Marty Morgan, multiple-time NCAA championship coach, produced multiple NCAA champions and All-Americans, and a guy like Billy Pierce. And, you know, you just got to commend, you know, USA Minnesota for just keeping those guys involved. That's important. You know, it's no wonder that they're in the finals here. They found a way to win in the semis, or they're having success. You know, it's not easy to keep that kind of pedigree involved in your USA program, as we all know. So whatever they're doing, whatever Dan Chandler's doing up there at USA Minnesota, you know, that's important. And that's just something, from my point of view, sitting on the other side of the mat looking over going, you know, that's not happenstance. You know, they had to work to keep those kind of guys involved, and it's good to see.
Most definitely. So it's 4-0 for people that don't know. In high school and the juniors, it's 5 minutes of blood time, not unlimited like it is in folk style. So they're wrapping them up.
They got the Gable wrap going.
I say they're going Dan Gable early.
They got the Gable wrap.
That's what we like to hear. Okay. But they really want these guys to not just get disqualified. They want the kids to decide the match. So we're back at it. They got to change the clock here, though.
This is important here. I think there's a little instruction that might have taken place here. I'm looking over at Coach Morgan right now going, yeah, and that little timeout right there provided a little instruction. Pierce come out with a different game plan right now. Went right to that underhook. I think their thing right now is get on the scoreboard, get a point.
Yeah. And the only time he looked dangerous was when he had that right side underhook. Yeah, even though Earnst had shoulder position, he was using it defensively and not offensively.
This is what Eric was talking about, Earnst.
There's that shoulder.
Last time. Earnst does a good job. Now he's going to drive. That's where he scored every time in that position. The first time was a push out. The last 2 times have been takedowns right there on the edge. I can possibly say that Pierce is being the aggressor, but Eric stated this earlier, that Earnst is just, there it is again. There's his drive. There's his other takedown. Same strategy.
So he's within a tech fall here of a shutout, which would be the exact same score the first time, just different opponent. Pierce has got, if he's going to get that underhook, he's got to get his right leg underneath that underhook. Right now he's trying to elevate him with just his arm. And Earnst is just taking a half step out, recircling, and penetrating. So he's got to use his hips.
This is where we were talking about Earnst's footwork. He changes position with Pierce.
This could be big here, though.
There's the.
They're going to give him one.
One more point. 9-0, 26 seconds left.
What's really interesting is, for people that don't know, every single round they change the weight class that this meet starts at. So, you know, it depends. That changes the strategy too on matchups, because in the first duel when these guys wrestled, they started at 160. We got a tech fall.
Tech fall.
It's 4-0. A 4-0 shutout tech fall. So Minnesota goes on the board first. In case people are wondering, if it's a tie, it'll be most matches won, because there's 15 matches here. So it'll be an 8-7, 9-6 sort of thing.